Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing another mini review session. I have completely filled up 2 pages of my notebook. How I do this is once I filled up 2 pages in my little notebook, then I film one of these videos. So 2 pages are filled up, so here we are. Let's jump right in because these videos are supposed to be short. They are mini reviews. They are not very in-depth. So let's get started. Before we do that though, I just want to say real quick that I will have a link in the description box that you can go to help support the Black Lives Matter movement. Racism has still not ended, contrary to what a lot of people think. So click on that if you need more petitions to sign, if you need more places to donate, or you just need some more ways to educate yourself. The first product that I have is the Benefit They're Real Mascara. This is a little mini that I got, and the first application of this was super extremely wet. Now, I typically don't have issues with my mascara transferring as soon as I put it on. Usually once it's been worn a little bit longer, that's when I get transferring, but this was like as soon as I put it on, it was everywhere. It was very difficult to work with, but the third or fourth application, it started to get a tiny bit drier, still not as dry as some other mascaras that are my favorites, but it did dry up just a tiny bit, and then I did start to like it better. It has a very interesting brush, but I think I actually really enjoy this mascara. I'm not entirely sure if I would repurchase the full size of this once I use this up. I love buying mascaras and I love trying out new mascaras. So typically I don't repurchase a mascara unless it is a holy grail, amazing, life-changing mascara. So it's still up in the air on if I would repurchase this or not. Then we have the Bare Minerals, I think it's just their lipstick in the shade Honesty. The first application of this lipstick was super moisturizing and very creamy. It wasn't insanely pigmented, but I think I actually enjoyed that about it. It was a little bit more of a sheer formula, and I actually really enjoyed this. Look at the little puppy girl face. Hi, thank you. That's so nice. The pigmentation on this lipstick was a little bit more sheer, but I thought this color was gorgeous. It is like the most beautiful mid-tone, but a little bit lighter pink. It is not super cool tone, not super warm. It's nice and neutral, and I can definitely see myself wearing this all the time. And I actually like that it is just a little mini, because honestly, how often do you actually go through an entire bullet lipstick? I actually love that this is smaller. I have a little sample of the Laura Mercier Glow Powder. So the color on this powder is pretty gold. When I apply this, I have to use a super light hand and a huge fluffy brush, or else it'll just be like a patch of gold shimmer sitting on my face, and it's just not a cute look. So I have to be very careful and strategic when I use this. It doesn't look powdery once it's on your face, and I know that a lot of people just use it as a highlighter. That I have not actually tried yet, but it does give you a very beautiful glow, and I don't think I would ever buy the full size of this, but I have enjoyed using this sample. I also got the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation in this shade Porcelain, and I know that this is one of those foundations that you either love or you either hate, and honestly, I love this. It is super lightweight and very natural. It's a little bit dewy, but it's not greasy. It looks like a just very nice everyday lightweight foundation, and it wears really well and for a long time on the skin. I had a little sample of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I used 4 of them, and the days that I did use this under my makeup, I thought my skin looked beautiful. It gives you a really gorgeous glow. It makes you look nice and dewy. Honestly, it's kind of just like a liquid highlight. I don't think I would ever buy a full size of one of these, just because I didn't think there was anything ridiculously special about it, and I'm not a huge fan of liquid highlighters in the first place. Having so many light shades seems a little bit pointless to me, because all of these light shades looked exactly the same. Like, they applied the same, they looked the same on the skin. I could not tell a difference. Obviously, I think it is great that there are some darker shades, but if this is the darkest shade, there's definitely room for more shades in between these 3, and I'm not actually 100% sure if these are all the shades that are offered, but I'm like 80% sure that they are, so Charlotte Tilbury can definitely do better. Then I have this Beauty Creations Cali Chic eyeshadow palette. This palette came in my most recent BoxyCharm, and I honestly have still only used it once, and I know that I need to use it more so that I can get a true full opinion on this palette. But for my first impressions. I'm kind of just feel average about this. The mattes are okay. They aren't anything to write home about. They aren't the best mattes that I use. They aren't a Natasha Denona matte formula, but they are okay. They blend out nicely, but they're not amazing. But I love the shimmers in this palette. I think the shimmers are what makes this palette. They are so metallic and so buttery and creamy, and they look so foiled and beautiful on the eyelid. I think this is the shade that I used in my BoxyCharm video, the shade in the middle called Boardwalk, and I was so impressed by this considering I think this palette retails for like $15. I have the Blink Black Lash Primer, and I kind of still feel the same way that I did in my BoxyCharm video. It's okay as an eyelash primer, but honestly, when you put it on, it just looks like you put on a very natural mascara. So I don't think it enhances anything you put on top of it. It's just very like, okay, it's whatever, honestly. We have the Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil. I have been loving this. It feels like a serum when you put it on. It doesn't feel oily at all. There is nothing about this that feels like a face oil. It is a little bit moisturizing, and I think it is a really good glowy, dewy, illuminating primer for people with super oily skin, because it is called a face oil, but it's not oily. It truly just feels like a normal face serum. And if you have oily skin and you want a more illuminating primer, I definitely think this would be a really good primer. Even though it is on the more expensive side and it is a pretty small container, there is only 0.84 ounces of product, but I do think it is really good, and I think it would be worth the money, but honestly, I would say it's up to the consumer. Then we have the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade Gloss in the shade Strawberry Lemonade. I love this lip gloss. I've worn it so many times since my BoxyCharm video. It has a very thin formula, and it is super moisturizing, and it kind of just feels like a lip oil. The color is very sheer. It's not super bright pink like what it looks like in the component, but I really enjoy this formula, and I definitely think that in the future I may pick up more shades of the Dominique Cosmetics lip glosses. So then I also have a few things from the ColourPop Mulan collection. First of all, I have the eyeshadow palette, and one of the things that I wrote about this in my notes is that it has very beautiful colors, but it has a weird, strange amount of glitters in this palette. So there are 4 glitter shades in this palette. Are all these weird glitter gel hybrid formula. It's not ColourPop's pressed glitter formula. It is something completely different, and I really like them. I think they look so beautiful, but it's just strange to me that there are so many in this palette. If there's a glitter in a palette, there's only one, so it's just so odd that there's so many in this palette, but it is really beautiful. I just did a series on my makeup Instagram at emily.cathryn, Kathryn, using this palette, and I did 7 looks with it, and I'm really proud of the way that it turned out. All the looks, I think they're all beautiful, so if you have not seen those, I would go check it out, and also follow my makeup Instagram. Also from the collection, I picked up the blush called Good Luck Charm. This blush is so beautiful. I have never tried any of ColourPop's pressed powder blushes before, and this is so nice. I actually want to compare it to my Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon blush because it seems to give a very similar effect on the cheek, and looking at them now, they are very similar, but as you can see, the Burt's Bees blush is a tiny bit more warm, and on camera it looks like it could be a little bit deeper, but in real life they look about the same shade. They just have very different tones. So I'm gonna give them a little swatch just so I can see how similar they are. The Burt's Bees blush is a lot more pigmented, and the ColourPop one as well. So these are those 2 shades. This is the ColourPop blush, and this is the Burt's Bees one. Like I said, the Burt's Bees blush is a lot more warm, but honestly on the cheeks they look very, very, very similar. I also grabbed the Cream Luxe lipstick in the shade Hua Mulan, and this is a super gorgeous kind of pinky brown color, and I enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. This is not the first Luxe lipstick from ColourPop that I have purchased. I have one other one, but it is the matte formula, and I thought this was a really great formula, and the color's beautiful too, so I have nothing bad to say about this. And then I also picked up the Luxe Gloss in the shade Phoenix, and this was my first time trying the Luxe Gloss formula, and I'm still a little bit on the fence. I think I want to pick up a few more shades. I actually have one more shade coming in the mail soon, and I want to try that out in this formula before I can fully make up my mind on how I feel about these. I think they're good. They're just very thick on the lips, and they aren't gloopy, but they are just very thick, and I'm not entirely sure if I am a huge fan of that yet, but I will keep you updated on the next Luxe Gloss that I have coming. Then I have the Hourglass Vanish Stick Highlight in the shade Champagne Flash. This was also in my most recent BoxyCharm, and I was so shook and so surprised that this came in the box. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful highlighter. It has a very oil-like formula, but it feels super weightless on the skin. You can't feel it. It doesn't feel like an oil once you really put it on and blend it in. And it is very reflective, but it looks natural. Like, it looks like you are glistening from being outdoors or something. This is an amazing highlight, and I had actually been lusting over this product for a very long time, so I'm so glad that we got it in the BoxyCharm, and it is just as beautiful as I thought it would be. Then I picked up this Sephora brand tinted and cooling eye primer in the shade Shimmer Taupe. And I picked this up because I wanted something that I could just throw on my lid, blend out, put some mascara on, and it would just be a super simple, easy eye look, and that is exactly what this gives me. It lasted such a long time. Obviously, it is an eye primer, so that is to be expected, but it truly did not crease, break up, or budge even a little bit. It is super glittery, and the more you blend it out, the more glittery that it gets, and I feel like I could almost compare this to the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Ritz. I know that so many people love that Super Shock Shadow, and I actually don't have it, but from what I've seen, I feel like this would be very similar, so I want to do a comparison. I want to pick up that Super Shock Shadow and compare it to this, because I honestly think they could be dupes for each other. The last thing that is going to be in this mini review is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set Setting Spray. Now, the packaging on this is a little strange. Obviously, it is this gold glittery packaging, but it has this like twist top, and then you twist it, and then you spray it, and then you twist it back, and it's locked. This packaging actually is really nice and helpful. It's just odd. It smells really good. It kind of smells like coconutty and sweet, and it really truly melts your powders into your face, and the spray on this is so good. Oh my goodness, it is so good. I am actually obsessed with this. It is just like, so nice. And it just smells so good. It smells like delicious coconut. That is it for this next installment of the mini reviews. A bunch of little bite-sized reviews, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the resources that I will have linked below in the description box, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!